Chapter 1 of the Life of Washington, Volume 2, by John Marshall. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Life of Washington, Volume 2, by John Marshall. Chapter 1. Birth of Washington, his mission to the French on the Ohio, appointed lieutenant colonel of a regiment of regular troops, surprises Monsieur Jumonville, capitulation of Fort Necessity, is appointed aide-de-camp to General Braddock, defeat and death of that general, is appointed to the command of a regiment, extreme distress of the frontiers, and exertions of Colonel Washington to augment the regular forces of the colony, expedition against Fort Duquesne, defeat of Major Grant, Fort Duquesne evacuated by the French and taken possession by the English, resignation of Colonel Washington, his marriage. 1732. Birth of Mr. Washington. George Washington, the third son of Augustine Washington, was born on the 22nd of February, 1732, near the banks of the Potomac, in the county of Westmoreland, in Virginia. His father first married Miss Butler, who died in 1728, leaving two sons, Lawrence and Augustine. In 1730 he intermarried with Miss Mary Ball, by whom he had four sons, George, John, Samuel, and Charles, and one daughter, Betty, who intermarried with Colonel Fielding Lewis of Fredericksburg. His great-grandfather, John Washington, a gentleman of a respectable family, had emigrated from the north of England about the year 1657 and settled on the place where Mr. Washington was born. At the age of 10 years he lost his father. Deprived of one parent, he became an object of more assiduous attention to the other, who continued to impress those principles of religion and virtue on his tender mind, which constituted the solid basis of a character that was maintained through all the trying vicissitudes of an eventful life. But his education was limited to those subjects in which alone the sons of gentlemen of moderate fortune were at that time generally instructed. It was confined to acquisitions strictly useful, not even extending to foreign languages. In 1743 his eldest brother intermarried with the daughter of the Honorable George William Fairfax, then a member of the council, and this connection introduced Mr. Washington to Lord Fairfax, the proprietor of the northern neck of Virginia, who offered him, when in his 18th year, an appointment as surveyor in the western part of that territory. His patrimonial estate being inconsiderable, this appointment was readily accepted, and in the performance of its duties he acquired that information respecting vacant lands, and formed those opinions concerning their future value, which afterwards contributed greatly to the increase of his private fortune. 1750, those powerful attractions which the profession of arms presents to young and ardent minds possessed their full influence over Mr. Washington, stimulated by the enthusiasm of military genius to take part in the war in which Great Britain was then engaged. He had pressed so earnestly to enter into the navy that at the age of 15 a midshipman's warrant was obtained for him. The interference of a timid and affectionate mother deferred the commencement and changed the direction of his military career. 4 years afterwards, at a time when the militia were to be trained for actual service, he was appointed one of the adjutants general of Virginia with the rank of major. The duties annexed to this office soon yielded to others of a more interesting character. France was beginning to develop the vast plan of connecting her extensive dominions in America by uniting Canada with Louisiana. The troops of that nation had taken possession of a tract of country claimed by Virginia and had commenced a line of posts to be extended from the lakes to the Ohio. The attention of Mr. Dinwiddie, lieutenant governor of that province, was attracted to these supposed encroachments, and he deemed it his duty to demand in the name of the king, his master, that they should be suspended. 1753, this mission was toilsome and hazardous. The envoy would be under the necessity of passing through an extensive and almost unexplored wilderness, intersected with rugged mountains and considerable rivers, and inhabited by fierce savages who were either hostile to the English or of doubtful attachment. While the dangers and fatigues of this service deterred others from undertaking it, they seem to have possessed attractions for Mr. Washington, and he engaged in it with alacrity. October 31, his mission to the French on the Ohio. On receiving his commission he left Williamsburg and arrived on the 14th of November
Sample complete. Ready to continue?